Hello everybody, welcome to next game in the Strat-O-Matic Demolition League. We are now at Series 9. So when we finish these games in Series 9, we'll be at the halfway mark. And after those series are complete in Series 9, I will do a recap of the first half of the season as far as stats and everything like that to let you know where everybody stands. Right now we're at matchup 1 of Series 9, the New York Mets traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Reds. So that's what we got going right now. It is Jacob DeGrom against Johnny Cueto. So the way it worked out with these matchups and the rotations, the number 1 starters showed up for this particular game 1 of matchup 1, game 1 of matchup 1 in Series 9. So other games in this series, Seattle will be at Tampa, Boston will be at Arizona, Cleveland at Philly, and San Francisco at Houston to round it out. All right, both teams enter the game 14-10. So they're tied for, I believe it's for second place. Cleveland, actually it's third place. Cleveland is right up there. They are leading right now. But it's still, we're only halfway through, not even halfway through, so anything can happen. If you want to pause the video, I went ahead and printed the stats to date on both teams so you can see how they are doing at a glance. Just some highlights. The Mets as a team are hitting .215. The Reds are hitting .274, but the Mets have much better pitching, 3.17 team ERA versus 4.05. Highlights for them, Noah Syndergaard pitched a 2-hit shutout in the last game against Tampa Bay to finish out Series 8 to get his first win of the season and drop his ERA to 1.20. Matt Harvey 4-0 through 5 starts at a 1.54. DeGrom 2-1, 2.38 ERA. He had that loss in his last start. For the Mets offensively, anybody pretty much over 40 at bats, 41 bats or more, is hitting .260 or less. So you got Granderson 193, Doodle 155, so they're struggling. Wright and Murphy are struggling. So it's a matter of trying to get the Mets back in gear offensively. And I did drop Granderson from the leadoff spot for a few games to see if that would help. And didn't help that much. I put him back in the leadoff spot in the last game against Tampa to finish out Series 8, and it actually did pretty well. So he's back in the leadoff spot today for this one. So let's make sure I get everything in place here. Let's get I may have to move this up a bit to get the dice tray involved to where you can see it. May have to move this out of the way. In fact, I'm going to pause the video and get everything set up for you. Okay, I think what I had to do basically was raise the little arm I have on my desk that holds the phone, raise it up a little bit to get to capture more area. So that has allowed me to get the dice tray in there. So hopefully everything's showing up on camera now pretty well, or on phone now. I keep saying camera, my phone is my camera. So I don't have a separate camera. I got the Cincinnati Reds dice all red and white, ready to go. Game is up on the computer so I can score it as I play. But again, I've already shown you the stats for each team going into this. So I think with all that's preliminaries out of the way, we're ready to go. I do have the score sheet off camera to get everything. One thing I did want to mention, Murphy drew the rest roll for the Mets and Hamilton drew the rest roll for the Reds. So that's why they're not in the starting lineup. And that's why the Mets have to use Tejada. All right. So hopefully everything is copacetic. Starting pitcher for the Reds will be Johnny Cueto. And we'll get the numbers on Cueto. He's 3-1 with a 1.64 ERA. So he's done pretty well for himself. And the leadoff hitter will be Curtis Granderson. The Grandy man, as they say. I need to leave room for base runners, don't I? Well, I'll put them here. How about we do the split? We'll do some splits. How about that? All right, so Curtis Granderson's hitting a .193, 5 homers and 10 driven in. Series 9, matchup 1, game 1. between two teams that are both 14 and 10. Let's move this over here so you can see it's New York there. So both teams are 14 and 10. And I'm going to roll this and look through the phone and make sure the dice don't get lost. Looks like they're all right. 2-8. And a 2-8 for Granderson is a strikeout. So back in the leadoff spot has not helped him. One thing I forgot to do, obviously, pause the video. When I said obviously, I meant the thing I forgot to do was get the little pawns out there. Get them straight. All right, so Granderson down on strikes. Johnny Cueto gets the K, and that'll bring up third baseman David Wright. And Wright is hitting .250, 2 homers, 11 driven in. It's a 1-6, and that's a single for David Wright. So Wright gets himself a 1-out single. And as a base runner, he's a D stealer. He will not be held. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Michael Cueto. It's a 2-6. That's a ground ball shortstop A with a plus sign, but since Wright was not being held, that's not going to get through. That's going to be a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. So the fact they didn't have to hold on Wright certainly helped them out there. 6-4-3 double play, twin killing. And the Mets are gone here in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Mets nothing and the Reds coming to bat. And Jacob DeGrom, the starter. Again, he is 2-1 with a 2.38 ERA. And leading off for the Reds will be Brandon Phillips, second baseman. And Phillips is hitting .346 and 104 at bats, 2 homers and 8 runs driven in. So he's kind of taken to that leadoff spot. They were going to try Hamilton there, but he wasn't hitting very well. So they put Phillips in moved him from number 2 spot when Kozart got hurt. They originally put him in the 2 spot, but now they've got him back in the leadoff spot, and he's flourishing. At least to now he is. 310. He's going to pop it up to short, so he didn't flourish too much there. 1 away. 1 down for Joey Votto, first baseman. Joey Votto hitting .291, 2 homers, 12 driven in. That's a 4-11 against DeGrom. I think that's the first check off the pitcher card that I can recall. So it's a 4-11, which is a fly ball left field X. Left fielder in this case is Cueto. He's only a 4. 4-11 is going to go to an error check. Cueto is an E7. E7. E7 and a 4. E7 and a 4 is a 2-base error on Cueto. So Cueto, not known for his fielding, obviously, and it comes back to bite DeGrom and the Mets as Joey Votto reaches on the 2-base error. He's on second base with 1 out for the Todd father, who's back from injury, Todd Frazier. Frazier hitting .388, 6 homers and 26 driven in. So the Reds are definitely happy to have him back. Votto is held at first base, 5-8. That's a fly to right field B. Now the question is, do they want to try to send Votto to third base on that fly ball right field B? So Votto runs at a 12. So 1-12, he would be safe, but then you got to do other factors. A +2 would make it a 1-14, and the right fielder arm Granderson's also +2 is a 1-16. So 1-16, he will be safe. 17, 18, 19, he holds. 20, he's out trying. So 15, Votto will make it to third. So Votto does take third on the fly ball to right. It was deep enough to get him there. So he's at third base with 2 down for Eugenio Suarez, shortstop, who's taken over that position since Kozart has gotten hurt. Suarez hitting .258, 4 homers, 11 driven in. That's a 5-8, right back to the same role again, and it's a fly to right to end the inning. And that's going to do it for the Reds. They come away empty-handed, leaving a runner at third. At the end of 1, no score from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Cueto back out. Will be starting out facing Travis d'Arnaud, the catcher. d'Arnaud on the season, hitting 300 in just 40 at-bats, 3 homers, 5 runs driven in. He has battled some injury prior, which is why he only has 40 at-bats. 4-8. It's 1-7 single. Anything else, he lines to third. That's a 3, so it's going to get through for a single. d'Arnaud sneaks it past Frazier. And that is a leadoff single for Travis d'Arnaud. And the Mets may be in business here in the second inning. Leadoff single brings up the ever-struggling Lucas Duda, hitting .155. But he's got the power. He's got 27 home runs, so I kind of hate to take him out of the cleanup spot. I did drop him down to 5th, but still, I don't want to drop him too much farther. d'Arnaud will not be held as an E-stealer, so no worries there. Cueto, 3-6 to Duda is a fly to center. That's 1 away, so Duda continues to struggle. And that'll send us to Wilmer Flores, the shortstop. Flores hitting .225, 4 homers, 8 runs driven in. 5-8, and that's a strikeout, so Cueto gets the big strikeout there. 2 down for Juan Lagares. And for Lagares, he is hitting .250, a homer and 4 runs driven in. 2-4, and that's a foul out to Frazier at third to end the inning. So the leadoff single doesn't amount to anything for the Mets, and they go away pretty quietly after that. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score. DeGrom back out, used to not getting run support. So it's no strange territory for him. Jay Bruce leads things off for the Reds. Bruce hitting .205, 2 homers, 6 driven in, so he's struggling as well, obviously. 5-5 against the lefty. That's a home run chance. 1-11. He does have normal power. 1-11. This is gone. 15, though, is not going to cut it. It's just going to be a deep fly to right. Granderson at the track will make the catch. And a loud out for out number 1 brings up the left fielder, Marlon Byrd. Byrd on the replay is hitting .333, 7 homers and 13 driven in. Pleasant surprise for the Reds. 5-5. It's a 1-8 double. Anything else, he flies to left. That is a 12, so that's going to be hauled in by Cueto. 2 down. For the center fielder, Skip Schumacher, he's playing center today in place of the rested Hamilton. Problem is, he's a 4 rated center fielder where Hamilton's a 1. But Schumacher, a little bit better hitter, although he's only hitting .238 in the replay. 6-7. And that is a ground ball, second base X. That's Murphy. I'm sorry, not Murphy. That's Tejada. Tejada's a 3. 3 and a 9 is most likely an error check. Let's take a look. 3 and a 9 is an error check. Tejada's error rating is an E19. E19 and an 8. E19 and 8 is a good play. Ground ball A. So they'll take it. That's going to end the inning. As Tejada makes the play. And we go to the the top of the third, no score. Injury factors, DeGrom would have to roll a 6-12 to be injured. Cueto cannot be injured, in case you were curious about injury checks on the pitchers. And Tejada, who made that nice play, will be leading things off. And he's only hitting .220 in 41 at-bats. No homers, 2 runs driven in. 4-10, and that is a fly to left. Byrd puts it away, 1 down. That'll bring up the pitcher, Jacob DeGrom, who does bat left-handed despite throwing right-handed. Whoops. And the Strat computer is not good about giving pitcher hitting stats, so I'm not sure what DeGrom is hitting right now, unless it shows up on the stats I printed out. And it doesn't. It just combines all the pitchers together. So I don't have DeGrom's offensive numbers. It's not really that important anyway. He's a pitcher. 6-7, and that's a ground ball, second base X. That is Phillips. Phillips is a 1. 1 and a 14. Should be good, but it might be an error check. Let's qualify that. 1 to 14 is a ground ball A, so that's a good play. So out number 2 as Phillips puts it away. And that'll bring up Curtis Granderson back to the top of the order. Granderson trying to get something started with 2 outs. 5-11, that's a walk. So a 2-out walk to Curtis Granderson. So he's aboard. He's not really a threat to run, though. He's a C-stealer. They will hold him on, but I don't think they're going to... I don't know if they're going to try to run him or not. He did steal 11 bases, but he got caught 8 times. Pena is a +1 arm, so if you wanted to try it, he's a C-stealer. And on a C-stealer, he would be starting at a 1-11, but you lose 3 for being held, makes him a 1-8. +1 be a 1-9, be a 45% chance. You know what? With 2 outs, they may try it. I think with 2 outs, they're going to try to send him 1-9, and he'll be safe. And he got thrown out. So take a chance. Didn't work out. And you'll have David Wright lead off in the top of the 4th. But they wanted to get him in scoring position to try to make something happen, not have to have Wright make an extra base hit. So when it works, you look like you've done something brilliant. When it doesn't work, you look pretty dumb. So maybe I'm in the dumb mode, which is normal territory for me sometimes. Here's Brian Pena to lead off at the bottom of the 3rd. Pena hitting .244, no homers, 4 driven in. 4-11, and that's a fly ball left field X, but against Goodell, he's a 4. 4 and a 15, he might get away with that. For an outfielder, 4 and a 15. Nope, he does not get away with it. 4 and a 15 is a single. If it had been a 3, it would have been an out, but this is a single. So Brian Pena will reach as Goodell is in there for his bat, but he's limited on his range, obviously. And now I don't know where my Pena card is. I should have a Pena base running card here, and I don't know what happened to it. Let me see if it's got stuck somewhere. It did. So there's Pena. There is Pena. All right, so Pena is aboard via the base hit due to the fact Goodell couldn't catch up to it. So he's at first base, and that'll send up the pitcher, Johnny Cueto. So Cueto, obviously in a bunt situation, he is an A bunter. He will become a B bunter. So we go to the advanced bunting chart on a B and see how he does. It's a 7. B and a 7 is a batter thrown up by first baseman. So it's going to be a good bunt. It's going to go, sacrifice hit will go 3-4 as Dudo flips to Tejada covering. But Pena will take second on the sacrifice. So Cueto helping out his cause with a good sacrifice bunt. Won't see that anymore in today's game with the universal designated hitter, which is why a lot of people like the older games. Here's Brandon Phillips back to the top of the order with 1 out. Phillips popped to short his first time up. Pena not being held on second base, obviously. 2-9 is a slow runner. 2-9 is a ground ball second base C, so that'll get the runner over to third, but now there are 2 outs. But at least now Pena is guaranteed to score on a base hit, whereas before, even with 2 outs at second base, he was not guaranteed, but he is now, thanks to being at third base. But it's going to be up to Joey Votto to get it done against DeGrom. 3-5, and he might get it done. 1-9 is a single that would score the first run of the game. Anything else, he grounds out to Duda. And he does get through for a base hit. So Votto sneaks it past, and Pena will come in to score. That was only a 1-star result, so getting Pena to third was important, as it turns out. And the Reds are on the board 1-0, thanks to the RBI single from Joey Votto, scoring Pena. 1-0, and here comes the Tide Father. Votto, B-stealer, he will be held. He's not going to try to run, but he will be held. Frazier 3-5, and that's a single to left. So I'll put runners at first and second. They're not going to try to get him to third with the ball going to left field. So Votto will stay at second base. on the base hit by Frazier, and all of a sudden the Reds have a 2-out rally going. Already scored 1 run via that. Now they've got Eugenio Suarez, the shortstop. 4-8, that's a strikeout. So DeGrom comes back to strike out Suarez to end the inning. But the Reds break through and lead it 1-0 as we go to the 4th. And leading off will be David Wright. He was at bat when Mr. Granderson was caught stealing. So Wright is up. He singled his first time up, but was erased on a double play. 4-7, and that's a strikeout. So Wright is out of there. 1 down. Cueto gets the K. That brings up Travis d'Arnaud. 2-3 for d'Arnaud is a single. So single to left field for Travis d'Arnaud. He gets his base hit, makes up for hitting into a double play. Actually, it should have been Cueto, shouldn't it? Yeah, it should have been Cueto, not d'Arnaud. My bad. We'll keep the roll and just figure out what happened to the card. How did they get mixed up here, I wonder? There's Cueto. I don't know how he got so mixed up and out of place there, but it is Cueto at bat. So on a 2-3, it's a hit by pitch plus injury. So how about that? That's not what the Mets needed. They definitely didn't need that. Hit by pitch plus injury will bring out the injury chart for batters. And we roll on the D20. 1-5, 1-4, he can stay in the game. Anything else, he's got to come out. That's a 3, so he can remain in the game. So fortunately for the Mets, Cueto avoids injury. Mets don't really need any injuries right now. Nobody does really, but the way they're struggling offensively, he's one of their better hitters. They need him out there. So Cueto reaches base on the hit by pitch. And that'll bring up Travis d'Arnaud for real this time. Cueto. E-Stealer is not going to be held. So Cueto trying to shake off the hit by pitch. 3-4, and it's another hit by pitch. Back-to-back hit by pitches. Wow. They may have to go out and have a word with Cueto. Terry Collins not too happy about getting his guys plunked. Don't know that that was intentional, but after 2 in a row, you wonder if DeGrom might retaliate. First and second, but I mean, Cueto doesn't want to start putting guys on base either, because that's not going to help his cause any. So that'll bring up the struggling Lucas Duda. Neither runner being held. 4-8, that's a strikeout, a big strikeout for Cueto for out number 2. He tries to pitch around those hit by pitches. He's got 2 strikeouts bookending the hit by pitches. But now Wilmer Flores a chance to tie the game or put the Mets ahead. Wilmer Flores. 4-7, that's a strikeout. He's not tired, so the inning's over. So Cueto comes back. He actually strikes out the side around those 2 hit by pitches. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 1-0 Reds. And Jay Bruce will be the leadoff man, facing DeGrom. And again, DeGrom not getting any run support, and the Mets' offensive woes are continuing. Bruce, his first time up, flew to right. 1-9, and that's a strikeout. So Bruce is out of there on strikes. That brings up Marlon Byrd. 5-5, that's a 1-8 double. Anything else, he will fly to left. And it's a double, so Cueto again can't get to it. He cannot get to it, it's a double. So after striking out Bruce to start the inning, he gives up the double because of the lack of, in large part, the lack of range by his left fielder. But Cueto is one of your better offensive guys, so that's why he's out there. If you could DH him, you could DH him, but you can't DH him in this game. Byrd, as the runner on second, is not going to be held. He doesn't run well at all. Here's Schumacher. That's a 6-10 against DeGrom. That's a ground ball third base X. David Wright, he is a 3. 3 and a 2. That's going to get through for a base hit. The question is, how many stars is it? A 3 and a 2. He's a 3 rated and a 2. 3 rated and a 2 is a single 2 stars. So that's going to be an RBI single for Skip Schumacher. And that will give the Reds a 2-0 lead. As Wright just not able to get there. Schumacher with the big base hit. Reds now lead it 2-0. And that'll bring up the catcher, Brian Pena, with 1 out and 2 on. I'm sorry, 1 out and 1 on. Schumacher, D. Steele are not going to be held. 2-4. That's ground ball second base C, so that will move Pena, or move Schumacher to second on the ground out by Pena. And with 2 down now. Let's see what happened here on the computer. I think when I gave the single to Schumacher, I didn't score Bird on the computer, so I need to do that. There, now we're straight. Okay, now ground out to second. We'll move the runner to second base. Now we're in sync. And it's Johnny Cueto will get the bat with 2 outs and a runner at second. 6-12, that's the injury check for DeGrom. So we have to be careful there, see if DeGrom gets injured. Ground ball pitcher X. And DeGrom is a 1 defensively with the E0, so he will make the play automatically. There's no chance of an error, and there's no chance of getting by him on a range check. But the more important thing is the Met fans are holding their breath as DeGrom has to get checked for an injury. Let's see what happens with this. He's a 6-12 was his injury check, and we found it. So 1 through 6, he'll be okay. Anything else, he will miss some time. A 12, so DeGrom is going to miss 9 games. So he's going to miss another start after this. He's going to miss the rest of this game plus another start. Not what the Mets needed. Unfortunately for them, that's what they got. So DeGrom at least ends the inning, so they will be able to pinch hit for DeGrom. It's a small matter of satisfaction. He's going to go 4 innings and face 18 batters. But now the Mets will have to go to their bullpen for some long relief, but at least they will get the pinch hit for DeGrom, who was scheduled to bat third this inning. And what a tough break that was. It'll be coming up for the Mets. It'll be Lagares, Tejada, and a pinch hitter for DeGrom. And the question is, who do they want to use as a pinch hitter? They're going to use Kirk Neuenhuis. He will pinch hit. So Neuenhuis will come into the game to pinch hit as the only. Actually, they could use Murphy, but nobody's on base, so I think they want to save Murphy for later in the game. Would seem to be the logical choice. And then they got to worry about who's going to be in the bullpen coming up next inning. Right now, Johnny Cueto facing Lagares. 3-5. That's a 1-17 single. 19. Bad break there. Line out to third, and it's snagged by the Todd father. So maybe it's just not the Mets' day. I don't know. Looked like it should have been a hit, but it wasn't. As the Todd father puts that away, here's Tejada. 4-9. That's a base hit. 1-15 is a double. And it is a double. So Ruben Tejada with a 1-out double. Now do you rethink it and maybe go to Murphy? Let's see. Tejada with the 1-out double. You're down 2-0. Do you really want? I guess they're going to go ahead and use Neuenhuis anyway. He is a lefty, and they'll give him a chance. And they'll save Murphy for later in the game. So Neuenhuis comes in. He's only hitting a $114. But they got to do something, because they don't want to burn Murphy this early. So he is the pinch hitter. Tejada at second base. Slow runner not being held on. 2-9, and that's a strikeout. So Neuenhuis strikes out in the pinch. 2 down, but Granderson still has a chance to knock in the run. Cueto, 5-4. Fly ball center field X. This is where they missed Billy Hamilton. This is actually Schumacher, who was a 4. This could drop. 4-20 though. Boy, the Mets just not catching a break on these D20 rolls. Even a 4 center fielder with a 20 is a fly out. So even with the horrible defensive range, the fact that the D20 was a 20 got him off the hook. Boy, just talk about bad breaks. Can't catch a break sometimes. All right, we go to the bottom of the 5th, and we will need a new pitcher for the Mets. And let's see who they want to go to. Who's the most rested and who can pitch a little bit of length maybe is maybe the same person. We'll see. Looks like it's going to be... Let's see who's coming up. Philip. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and go to Eric Goodell. Right-hander. So Eric Goodell will be the first man out of the bullpen for the Mets. I need to get his card out. Eric Goodell. And on the replay to this point, Goodell is 0-1 with a 2.79 ERA in 10 innings of pitching. So he is tasked to keep the Reds where they are in place of the injured DeGrom. It'll be Phillips, top of the order for the Reds. He's 0 for 2, so they've kept him in check. 4-7, fly to center. He's 0 for 3 now. They still keep him in check. So 1 down for Joey Votto. Votto the batter. 3-5 for Votto. That's a 1-9 single. Anything else, he will ground to Duda. And that's a 10, so Duda will barely get to it, but he does. And there's 2 away. Good start for Goodell. Trying to keep his team in the ball game. And the Todd Father is up. 4-10 for Goodell. That's a ground ball shortstop X. That is Flores. He's a 4. 4-8 most likely will be an error check, which it is. And Flores is an E25 and a 4. E25 and a 4. That's a 1 base error on to Flores. So the shoddy fielding of the Mets strikes again. 1 base error. And that will allow the Todd Father to reach with 2 outs. And he will have to be held. He's a decent runner. So Suarez is the batter. They're not going to try to send him, but he is a... Well, actually, they might try to send him with 2 outs. He's a B stealer. That would start him as a 1-13. Being held, subtract 3 makes him a 10. Darno's a 0, so it's a 50-50 proposition. So they're going to send Frazier on a 1-10. He'll be safe. 12, he got thrown out. So much like the Mets did earlier with that 2 out, trying to get something done with 2 outs. And just didn't work out for him. But, hey, they're kind of playing with house money. So it may not even matter. As he is caught stealing. As Tejada puts on the tag, a throw from Darno. So we go to the top of the 6th. Cueto back out. His fatigue inning is number 7, so he's still good to go. David Wright, the batter, will lead off the top of the 6th for the Mets. He is singled and struck out. 1-9, and that's a ground ball to short. Suarez makes the play, 1 away for Kadire. Dyer hit into a double play and was hit by a pitch. 4-7, and that's a strikeout. Another strikeout for Cueto. And that'll bring up the catcher Darno, and the Mets' offensive woes continue. 5-9, well, maybe not this time. In-home run chance, and he does have normal power, does Darno. So 1-11, and the Mets will get on the board. Anything else will be a double. It's an 11. It's gone. So Travis Darno hits a solo shot with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Puts the Mets on the board. They put the Mets on the board. Home run for d'Arnaud. Maybe some payback for being plunked by Cueto. d'Arnaud says, I got something for your hit by pitch, and there it is. Home run d'Arnaud, and now that brings up Lucas Duda. 5-5, that's a strikeout, so Cueto gets the revenge at the end with the strikeout. But the Mets do get on the scoreboard, cut the lead to 2-1, and if Goodell can hold them further, Mets are right in this ball game despite not scoring a lot of runs. It'll be Eugenio Suarez to lead off. He was on, or at the plate rather, when Frazier was caught stealing. Suarez 0 for 2. 6-9. Goodell struck him out, and I didn't check the injury check for Goodell, so let me do that now. I don't think 6-9 is any issue for Goodell. 6-9. Well, he's a 6 on his injury. So an injury number 6 is a 6-7. So how about that? I really got to watch out for him. He's a 6-7. But 6-9 is still safe, obviously, and it's a strikeout. So he just got to avoid a 6-7. So Jay Bruce, the batter, as Goodell tries to avoid the 6-7 rolls. 2-9. He avoided the 6-7, but he didn't avoid the 2-9, which is a blast from Jay Bruce. And Bruce homers to counter the home run from d'Arnaud and give the Reds back their 2-run lead. 2-run lead on the home run from Jay Bruce. Reds lead it 3-1 now. Extend that lead to 3-1. Here's Bird. 5-4. Catcher X, that's d'Arnaud. He is a 3. 3 and a 3 as a catcher. Let's see what happens with that. 3 and a 3 is a straight foul out. 3 and a 3 is a straight foul out. So he fouls out to d'Arnaud for out number 2. And that'll send up Skip Schumacher. Schumacher, the batter. 1-4, and he will ground it back to Goodell to end the inning. So that's going to do it for the Reds, but they do add on an insurance run. That's going to be all for Goodell, too. He went 2 innings, faced 7 batters, gave up that run. He is scheduled to bat 4th this inning, but I think 2 innings are going to cap Goodell regardless. And we go to the top of the 7th. Cueto, this is his fatigue inning. And he'll be facing Flores, Lagares, and Tejada. If anybody gets on a pinch hitter for Goodell. So Flores, the batter, he struck out twice, 0 for 2, trying to avoid the hat trick, 3-5. He does avoid the hat trick, but it's just a ground ball to Cueto for an easy out. 1 away. And that's going to send up Lagares. 3-2, and that's a fly to right, 2 down. So 2 up and 2 down, and Cueto just kind of leisurely going along. And now that's bring up Tejada. Tejada did double his last time up, and if he reaches, then we'll pinch hit for Goodell. 1-9, he will not reach. He strikes out to end the inning. So Cueto, very good, and no threat to his fatigue because he was spot on. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. 7th inning stretch time here in Cincinnati. And as we go to the bottom of the 7th, it is a 3-1 Reds lead. The new pitcher for the Mets is being checked on right now. He's a 1-inning guy because he's going to be, they're not going to double switch. They're just going to put somebody in for 1 inning. It'll be Pena, Cueto, and Phillips. So I think they're going to go to left-hander in this one. I think they're going to a left-hander. Let's see who that's going to be. It's either going to be Gil Martin or Torres. Who's most rested? Torres is the most rested, so they're going to Alex Torres, a lefty. And on the replay, he's 0-0 with a save, 2.25 ERA. So not bad at all for Alex Torres, but he is a one-inning guy, so no double switches are going to be, used or anything like that. But before we go to that bottom of the 7th, I will stretch, and we have Take Me Out to the Ball Game. All right, 7th inning stretch is complete, and Pena will be facing Torres to start this bottom of the 7th in the 3-1 ball game. His job is simple: keep it 3-1, not let it get out of hand. Pena will turn around and bat right-handed, switch hitting catcher. 3-4. 3-4 is a ground ball right back to Torres for out number 1. Easy play there. And the Reds have no intentions of pinch hitting for Cueto, so Cueto will come back out to hit. 4-9, struck him out. That's 2 down. But I don't think the Reds don't care about that. They're more interested in Cueto's pitching than his hitting. Here's Brandon Phillips. We're back to the top of the order against Torres. 5-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That is Flores. He is a 4. 4-18, though, is a good play, I do believe. I'll double check it, but I think a number that high is going to be good. 4-18 is a ground ball B, which is certainly good enough to get it done. And so Torres pitches a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 7th, does his job. Takes care of business. And we go to the 8th. And we will get a pinch hitter for the Mets. And they've saved Murphy for this long, so they're going to go ahead and bring him in. Also, at the same time, Schumacher is going to come out, and Hamilton's going to come in for defensive purposes. So Hamilton will be the new center fielder. They want to get a number 4 rated center fielder out of the game. And you can't really blame them for that. So he will come on in place of Schumacher, will Billy Hamilton. So let's make those changes in our computer. Pinch hitting will be Daniel Murphy to try to get something started for the Mets. Don't pitch hit him now. You may not get a chance to pinch hit with him later. So they're going to do that. And Hamilton will take over as the new center fielder for the Reds. All right, so those logistical things are taken care of. Cueto coming back out for the top of the 8th. And he'll be facing the pinch hitter, Murphy, and then Granderson and Wright. So Murphy, who had to rest in this one, but he's eligible to come out now. He's only hitting 233, 2 homers, 10 runs driven in, so even he's struggling a little bit. But now Murphy is in. 4-12, and that's a ground ball first base X. That is Votto. He is a 2. 2 and a 10 is going to go to an error check for Votto. And Votto is an E9. E9 and a 7 is a first baseman. E9 and 7 is a ground ball A. Good play, but actually, since it's on the X chart, just the little house rule, we call it first baseman to pitcher covering on a tough ground ball. So he will flip to Cueto, and the pinch hitter Murphy is retired. Back to the top of the order for Granderson. Mets are running out of outs as they trail at 3-1 here in the 8th. Cueto rolling, 6-11. It's a fly to center, hauled in by the new center fielder Hamilton. Quickly 2 up and 2 down for David Wright. 1-12, and it's a ground ball to second to end the inning. And they may cap Cueto right there and turn it over to Chapman in the 9th. We shall see. But on that 112 result for Wright, a mere meek ground out to Phillips. And now we need a new pitcher for the Mets as we start the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Votto, Frazier, and Suarez, so a couple of lefties. So they could think about going to the other left-hander, Gilmartin, and I think that's what they're going to do to try to keep it close. Don't like to use both your lefties in one game necessarily, but they only want one inning each, so it's not like they're going to be worn out or anything. So Gilmartin, and neither one of them pitched the previous game, so they should be good to go. So Gilmartin is in, and Cueto is going to go 8 innings, and he's going to end up facing 29 batters. And he's, of course, in line to get the victory. Here in the bottom of the 8th we go. It will be Votto against the new pitcher Gilmartin, lefty on lefty for Mr. Votto. 3-8, and that's a leadoff walk. So Votto drawing the leadoff walk. Not what Gilmartin wanted. Here's the Todd Father. Mets would like to turn 2. Votto will have to be held. He runs pretty well. 3-5 against the lefty, and that's a double to center field. Votto, with nobody out, will hold at third base, but look at this. Don't look now. All of a sudden, the Reds have second and third, nobody out against the normally reliable Gilmartin. But that leadoff walk got him off to a bad start, and now you got Eugenio Suarez coming up, followed by Bruce. They could walk Suarez, load the bases, but Bruce homered his last time up. Suarez is 0 for 3 with a couple of Ks, so even though he's a righty, I think they're going to go ahead and pitch to him. Infield, of course, has to come in. There's no choice. 4-3, and that's a pop out to second base. Boy, what a good break there for Gilmartin. Pop out, and nobody could do anything on that. They had to just freeze right where they are. As second baseman Tejada puts it away, and now they got Bruce lefty on lefty. The infield is still in, though. .410, and that's a ground ball first base A with the infield in. So let's take a look at the chart and see what the chart says about infield in, ground ball A, run on third hole. The batter's out. Nobody can advance because nobody else is forced. So it's just a ground ball to Duda. They look everybody back. There's 2 down. And now a chance to get out of it. Marlon Byrd, the batter. But Hamilton is on deck. So they're going to walk the dangerous Byrd, who's already doubled in the game. So they will walk Marlon Byrd intentionally to set up a force play at any base. And they'll deal with the newly entered Billy Hamilton, who's in there for his defense, not his offense. Hamilton is only hitting a .170 with no homers, 4 runs driven in, so it seemed like a no-brainer to walk him. And Hamilton is up with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Chance for an insurance run or 2. Gilmartin trying to prevent that. That's a 3-7. Might not prevent it. 1-10 is a single. Anything else, he lines to right. That's a 2. It's a single. It's only 1 star, so only 1 run will score. But Hamilton comes through with a big base hit. So they played the percentages, and it did not work out for him. Bases are now still loaded for the catcher, Pena. And now do you leave Gilmartin in there, or do you let him face Pena? That's one of the questions as well. Do you let him pitch to Pena? Pena, a little bit better against righties, so I think they're going to keep Gilmartin in there to face Pena and try to get out of this mess. 1-7, and he does. Ground ball to third to end the inning. But the Reds tack on an insurance run, make it 4-1. As Gilmartin gave up that run. And now we go to the top of the 9th. 4-1. You wonder if they could let Cueto finish this thing. Maybe they changed their mind on this. We'll see. It's a 3-run lead, so it would be hate to say a cheap save, but it would certainly be a much easier save for Mr. Chapman to get a 3-run cushion. You wonder if they would go that route. But I think to secure the first game of the series, they're not going to take any chances. They're bringing in Aroldis Chapman. They're not going to screw around. So Chapman will be on. He'll be facing Cueto, d'Arnaud, and Duda here in the top of the 9th. But Chapman, you don't want to mess around. Chapman is on, and on the season, he's 1-1 with 8 saves. 2.08 ERA, going for his league-leading 9th save if he can get it. Mr. Chapman. Got to face some decent hitters for the Mets. Cueto, d'Arnaud, and Duda, probably a couple of the best they have. 1-6, but Cueto strikes out. Column 1 is loaded, but 1-6 is a strikeout. So Chapman gets the leadoff strikeout to start the top of the 9th. That'll bring up Travis d'Arnaud. He homered for the only run of the game for the Mets. 2-5. Would have had a chance at a ballpark homer, but in advance, that's just a fly to left. Bird puts it away, 2 down. And that'll send us to Lucas Duda, last chance. Do you pinch? I mean, they really don't have a whole lot on the bench to pinch hit with, so I think you're going to stick with Duda here. 3-12. It's a fly to center to end the inning and the ball game. The Red, this one belongs to the Reds, as someone once said. 4-1, your final. And we'll get the totals for you in the ball game. DeGrom's going to take another tough loss. Again, no run support whatsoever. Don't win. You can't win when you only score 1 run most times. That's not going to happen. So the totals: 4 runs, 8 hits. Let's move this out of the way. Let's bring this over here so you can see the whole line score. So for the Reds, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. For the Mets, 1 run, 4 hits, and 2 errors. Talk about an ugly line score. Mets left on 4, Reds left on 7. All right. Winning pitcher is Johnny Cueto. He is now 4-1. Loser is DeGrom. He drops to 2-2, but his ERA didn't suffer that much. I mean, a little bit, but not a whole lot. He just didn't get the run support he would like to have had. And Chapman gets his league-leading 9th save. And the Reds, who were struggling early on, have now improved to 15-10 and have surpassed the Mets in the standings. So Mets got their work cut out for them. Maybe this break after the Series 9 is what the Mets need to regroup. I don't know. But that's going to do it from here. Mets fall to the Reds 4-1 in the first of a 3-game set from Great American Ballpark. Reds win it 4-1. Winning pitcher Cueto 4-1. Losing pitcher DeGrom 2-2. And Chapman with his 9th save of the season. Home runs on the game: d'Arnaud for the Mets and Bruce for the Reds. So, hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Demolition League 2015 style. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.